Well, hello everybody, and welcome to my next video. I hope you're having a fantastic day today, and may it still be such even after this video and forward. As you read in the title of this video, today I'm going to present the biggest argument for Christianity. But before we start, I have to say, that this video is under the presumption, that Jesus even existed in the first place, as how most historians agree on. The other view is not really possible for a few reasons, such as the fact that if it were true, we would not even know who this almighty author is, the historian evidence for Jesus's actual existence, and one last, which I'm going to point out towards the end of this video. So, let's first begin with something familiar to all of us, the New Testament. For those who do not know, the New Testament is a collection of many books, just like how the Old Testament is. The story of these books is plain simple, it's about the life of Jesus Christ, who is allegedly, the Son of the Almighty God, the God of the Old Testament. They describe events in Jesus's life, such as his birth, fasting in the desert, ministry on earth, his death, and finally, his resurrection. The last example is debatable by Christians and non-Christians. The books are not limited to just that, however, and such are Paul's letters to the Romans, the Corinthians, and others. So, during his life, Jesus preached about how he is the beloved and only Son of God, which is the mere reason he was landed a death sentence on the cross, requested by the Pharisees for blasphemy. In fact, speaking of crosses, I'm going to describe to all of you, my dear viewers, what the process of crucifixion consists of. At first, before one's initial crucifixion, they would have been stripped and whipped. After that, one would have to carry his own cross despite his injuries, but that is only the start of the great pains. The person in question who had been sentenced to death, would have nails hammered through each of their hands, and one through their legs. A very painful process indeed, isn't it? Now the question I pose, isn't in itself my thesis to the biggest argument for the Christian faith, but I would still question it. If all that was a lie, and Jesus was a deceiver, wouldn't he say all this has been a big lie before they went ahead and unalived him, instead of going through it until the end? Now, the reason this question is not so big, is because it's not that hard to answer. The Muslims, for example, will say he wasn't even crucified in the first place. But now, I'll pose an even bigger question, my thesis as a whole. If the disciples of Jesus, the closest to him among many others during his lifetime, knew that all that was a lie, he hadn't even performed any miracles for examples, then why did they die for him? They died in what they believed in, and did not resist getting killed, because of one of Jesus's quotes: "Whosoever therefore shall confess me before men, him will I confess also before my Father which is in heaven. But whosoever shall deny me before men, him will I also deny before my Father which is in heaven." If they knew that Jesus was a false prophet instead of the actual Son of God, why didn't they resist their deaths, and why didn't they go far away, where no one would even recognize them? If they knew that Jesus wasn't truthful in all he said, why did they die for him? Why die for a dead man's sake when he neither was actually God in human form himself, neither rose from the dead, when they could run away during the night, for example? Just so you know, I'm also going to tell you how some of the apostles died. Peter was crucified in Rome. The notable of this is, that he requested to be crucified upside down, since he did not think he was worthy enough to die in the same manner as Jesus, something illogical to think about, if he knew that Jesus was not actually the Son of God, and knew what he preached was wrong. Saint Philip was also probably crucified, Matthew was probably beheaded, Bartholomew, commonly known as Nathaniel, was too crucified, which also goes for Saint Andrew, who was actually crucified in an X shape. James, son of Zebedee, was also crucified like several of the others, and finally Judas Iscariot, the disciple who betrayed Jesus. According to Matthew chapter 27 verse 3-5, Judas, the one who betrayed the Lord to the Pharisees, hanged himself before Jesus even allegedly rose. If he also knew that the religion of Christ was not truthful, why would he have hanged himself? And how come he have known that Christianity is false, if he was, actually, one of Jesus's disciples? Before I conclude this video, I want to answer one potential question: how do we even know these disciples existed in the first place? Well, let's not forget about apostolic tradition within the Orthodox Church, and if you're a Catholic Christian, the Pope. Be free to debunk my video if you can, so I can improve my argument. Thanks for watching.